What up, kaiju friends and fans? Philly Kaiju King back. Another quick video, box day video. Got this today. Originally said Wednesday the 29th, and it said Saturday the 31st, and I got it on Friday the 30th. This is the newly released Godzilla 1995 end scene, last scene, Yuji Sakai model. This is the Godzilla Jr. becomes the new, in quotes, Godzilla at the end of the film. Very emotional scene at the end there. The whole deal with Godzilla dying and melting away from his overheating at the 1200 degree mark. One of the most emotional scenes for sure of any Godzilla movie. That's 1995 Godzilla vs. Destroyer. If anybody hasn't seen it, give it a chance. All right, we'll move on to the star of the show, the 30 centimeter Yuji Sakai last scene Godzilla 1995. All right, everyone, I'm back, and here it is, the xplus 30 centimeter series Yuji Sakai Godzilla 1995 last scene. As I said there when I was displaying the box, very emotional scene in the Godzilla franchise right there. That end scene. For me, that scene and the end of Son of Godzilla are the most emotional scenes of any Godzilla movie, just my 2 cents, personally. Very sad to see Godzilla waste away and die like that. I think when they were promoting the movie, they said Godzilla's going to die, Godzilla will die. They had, I think, the actors, promoting it and interviews and stuff, Godzilla dies, and he did die, there's no doubt about that, but out of his ashes comes this guy, the, quotes, new Godzilla, which that's what I call it, the new Godzilla, and the pose here is pretty cool. Very reminiscent of that last scene with that silhouette showing. It's pretty cool. Try to do my best in my pictures to render that. My background actually is now a big, nice 4K flat screen TV, and I just display the images on it and use it as my background. Thought I did a decent job of a representation of that, but it's never going to be perfect. But it's a pretty cool figure here. Nicely done by xplus. Good movie if you haven't seen it, as I said previous there. Just give it a chance. Take a quick look at this feller. His tail touches, goes down and touches and curves up slightly to his left. You can see the charcoal style skin, charcoal gray skin with the tree bark texture on the tail. Looks good. Nice section tail there, as you can see. Up here, the dorsal plates, pretty much 3-row from the tip of the tail all the way to the back. Then they become the big triple rows as they climb and get bigger onto his tail and up to his back there. Of course, charcoal gray on the inner part, lighter gray on the outer tips of the dorsal plates. Looks pretty good there. Nice fat, thick thighs as the later Heisei Godzillas were. Super thick, super chunky. Nice suit wrinkling here in the upper hips here. Looks good. xplus was the kings of that, as I've always said. Nice, quotes, knee pad area on the figure. There's the toenails, bone white, look good. As I said, he's kind of in a hunchback, lean back position, as in the last scene of the movie there. You can kind of see that. Pretty big for a 30 centimeter figure as well. There's the hands, the claws look good. Upper chest and midsection look pretty good there. Up here on the face, teeth individually sculpted in the mouth. The mouth is super wide open, and some people I think were having an issue with it, but I really don't see that much of an issue with it. Might be a tad more open than in the movie, but it doesn't really bother me that much. Got your white eye with a black and orangish pupil, and then some bloodshot on the eyes there, back in the corners as well. It's kind of hard to see, but it's there. A lot of contention about the eyes. My feeling about the eyes on this guy, you don't even see his eyes. When he does final transformation to the new Godzilla here, We don't see his eyes. It just shows the silhouette, and he hears a roar. Because if he transformed like this into a much bigger and a more daddy-looking Godzilla than he was previous, how do we know his eyes? What his eyes look like? We don't know. They probably changed too, for all we know. So I don't have a big issue with the eyes. I think they look pretty good myself. Take a look at them again here. I think they look pretty good myself. We'll do some comparisons with this feller. Let's do that now. Right, everybody, here's the Sakai 93. Brought his tail stand this time. I'm not a big fan of the tail stands. That's the other big thing about this last scene. It doesn't need the tail stand. Hallelujah. I don't mind the tail stand, but man, when every single figure has a tail stand, it's kind of goofy to me. Right, we'll do some more comparisons here. Let's do that now. Right, everyone, here's the xplus 30cm Gamera 99. You can see this Godzilla towers over him, really, and that Gamera is a pretty big 30cm. The way his lean back of the arching of the back and stuff, I'm sure they're capturing that from the last scene, so it's making him taller. All right, let's do another comparison here. Let's do that now. All right, everybody, here's Spiral Studios Hall of Fame Godzilla Evolved 2024. And on the way to me is the xplus, the kaiju series Godzilla 2024. Hopefully I'll get it like early next week. It shipped from Japan. I don't think it showed up in Chicago yet. All right, one final comparison. We'll do that now. All right, everyone, here's the Cybot 84 Godzilla. See, he is a tad bit taller there, maybe 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch taller, but not super much taller. So anybody has a Cybot knows how tall it is. This kind of will give you a good relay of the heights. All right, everyone, I'll move on to some quick final thoughts. Let's do that now. All right, everybody, xplus 30cm Yuji Sakai Godzilla 1995 last scene, depicting the last scene of the film. Very emotional, as I said previous multiple times. Good movie. Great ending to the Heisei series for sure. And this is an iconic moment. We're at the very, very end of the film. All right, everybody, I'll close out my video. I want to thank everyone who tunes in. This is Phil the Kaiju King. Y'all have a blessed day. We'll talk again soon.